The results are in, and in news that will shock absolutely no one. Not even the gods in Lotito. Emerson Dambudze Mnangagwa and his ever-hungry entourage of Gucci-wearing, Range Rover-riding, Bible-quoting bandits have looted again. This time dressed in national colors and singing war songs like it's still 1979. In a country where the average citizen prays for fuel before they pray for food, these liberation era leftovers just burned $10 million. Yes, 10 million American dollars, celebrating 45 years of what they call independence. Independence from what exactly? Electricity? Sanity? International dignity? This grand event, which some in the Politburo dared to call a historic milestone, was actually just a potential Woodstock for geriatrics, only with less music and more looting. 189 million rands went into tents, mud puddles, speaker hire, and one or two very well-fed suppliers whose cousin is probably in cabinet. If you are looking for where that money went, just to follow the convoy of blacked out SUVs heading to Borodale after the event. Their fuel tanks full, their boots full of brown envelopes, and their conscience nowhere to be found. And while they were busy throwing a stadium-sized tantrum in Nembudziya, pretending to honor the fallen heroes of the Liberation War, 2,500 Zimbabwean women were dying annually while trying to give birth. Not because birth is inherently dangerous, but because giving birth in Zimbabwe is like playing Russian roulette with expired paracetamol. The nation's biggest hospital, Salim Mugabe Central, proudly boasts one functioning maternity unit, which isn't even running on Zimbabwean effort, by the way. It's being kept alive by Standard Bank of South Africa, because apparently even our neighbors got tired of watching us die in slow motion. Let's just pause there. $10 million. Do you know what that kind of money can do? It could have built 270 modern maternity theaters across the country. That's one for nearly every constituency. Even for that ghost town Uzumba Maramba Fungwe, where Zek claims voted 120% in the last election. But instead of life-saving facilities, we got hired clowns, school kids forced to wave flags in the mud, and a badly engineered stadium that turned into a swamp because someone forgot drainage is a thing. The stadium, built in a hurry for this nonsense, didn't even involve consulting engineers. But why bother with engineers when you can hire your nephew who once watched a YouTube video on construction? Of course, the people didn't exactly rush to attend this muddy theater of the absurd. So, in true ZANU-PF style, they buzzed in delegates from as far as Mozambique. Because when your citizens are tired of pretending, just import the applause. These poor souls, enticed with promises of $10 and maybe a leftover chicken leg, braved the mud to watch the commander-in-chief deliver another empty speech about sovereignty and our beloved country. Ironically, while he was preaching patriotism, his kids were allegedly collecting rent from Bare Musika, which somehow now belongs to the first family. Coincidence? Or just classic state capture with a side of sadza? But Mnangagwa's appetite isn't just for attention. It's an Olympic-level gluttony for looting. The man has managed to do what few presidents have done, make Mugabe look like he had restraint. Every year he outdoes himself. He doesn't just loot, he throws parties to celebrate the looting. This was not Independence Day. It was a glorified after party of corruption. A moment of silence, please. for the taxpayers who funded this circus while queuing for a Panadol at a clinic with no nurses and no water. And confronted about this $10 million budget, Nick Mangwana, in usual fashion, defended by saying, "Oh, we renovated a school. We used it for 3G and 5G installations." Well, I thought Net1 and Econet were in the business of building base stations, not the government. And then they went on to say, "Oh, we also used some of the money in renovating a school." For avoidance of doubt, this is the roof of the school that was renovated. Apparently, they say they renovated the roof. This is the renovation. Oh, let's not forget who built the hospital that Zimbabweans still depend on today. It wasn't Mnangagwa. It wasn't ZANU-PF. It was Ian Smith, the Rhodesian himself, in 1977, back when Rhodesia was under real sanctions, not imagined sanctions, and a civil war was burning. Smith somehow built 2 maternity units, both of which have since collapsed under the weight of post-independence mismanagement. The one that barely works now is held together by prayer, foreign donors, and duct tape. If Smith could build maternity theaters during real sanctions, and ZANU-PF can't do it after 45 years in power with gold, lithium, and platinum pouring out of every province, what exactly did we gain independence from? Competence? Reality? And just to top off the horror, an East African president recently said, and we paraphrase here, "These fools are billionaires surrounded by starving people." A quote so brutally accurate it should be painted on the parliament building. This is not governance. It's not leadership. It's economic necromancy. It's a ritual of looting disguised as liberation. A national Ponzi scheme where only the ministers and their side chicks win. They say Zimbabwe is open for business, but it's clearly only open for looting. And the looters don't even try to hide anymore. They throw parties, cut cakes, and film drone shots of their disasters like it's a Netflix special. Meanwhile, the average citizen lives on dreams, dust, and diaspora remittances. Our health system is broken. Our schools are joke material. And the only thing running in Zimbabwe is the queue for passports. Let's be clear. What happened at the 45th Independence Day is not just a scandal. It's an insult to the graves of real heroes, to the mothers dying in labor, to the children learning under trees, and to every honest Zimbabwean trying to survive the monthly miracle that is paying bills without an income. This country didn't gain independence in 1980. It merely switched to looters. So the next time someone posts a flag emoji and says "Happy Independence," feel free to respond with "Happy what?" Because until women stop dying from childbirth, until hospitals have Panadol, until our leaders save and not steal, we are not free. We are hostages with better branding. If this stung you like a pepper spray cloud outside a protest, then you know what to do. Subscribe to Zimwaves TV. This is where we speak truth with fire, facts with flair, and roast tyrants with unapologetic sauce. Click that button, join the movement, because silence is how they win. But sarcasm, satire, and a subscription, that's how we fight back.